that because the owner was telling the expert vendor what to do, the vendor became more reactive, didn't want to utilize their expertise, therefore the owner couldn't utilize their expertise. Then we said this is a supply chain, but in an organization, one organization, if the boss was doing this, this is just as bad. So this or this, we found out, was the same thing, right? This is in two different supply chain partners, which really, they're in silos. And this one is in one organization, right? Now, if this is the boss, and this is the worker here, if the worker starts doing this, is this a good thing? Well, we figured out it wasn't. Okay, and this is why. Because when the worker started doing this to the boss, sooner or later, the boss would realize that he's forced or she's forced to think. And once they have to start thinking about the job themselves, their accountability went what? Down. Not only would they have to now start thinking after this person's doing this, but then they would have to make the decision and tell that person what to do. So we thought about this, and we said, here's two very experienced, expert partners thinking about something, and here's two very inexperienced partners doing the same type of project. We asked ourselves, which one does more of this? The experienced or the inexperienced? What do y'all think? You put two experienced people on a team, you put two inexperienced people on a team. Which one will meet more and start talking more? The experienced or the inexperienced? Experienced. How many say experienced? Raise your hand. How many say inexperienced? Raise your hand. It is the inexperienced. Why? Because they don't know what to do. Every step along, they're questioning. They don't understand what the other party needs, right? They don't understand what they need. Plus, they're insecure about it, so they'll do more of this. We then learned that this owner, this boss, this, anytime we had this, the more of this we had, it showed more expertise or less expertise? Less. And less utilization of expertise. Now, what is an expert and what is expertise? An expert always looks at something from beginning to end, and when do they look at it from beginning to end? When do they do this? At the beginning. They don't wait till they get into it. They don't wait till they actually have been hired. They look at it from the very beginning so that they know they can do the job and they know how they're going to do it. Anybody who can see into the future, who can predict the future, quickly realizes that the biggest risk we have is human behavior. Basically, what we're looking at here is management, direction, and control of an expert in any way, or over-communication, or talking, or having too many meetings, or too much correspondence, actually shows that people plan more or plan less. Saw into the future more or saw into the future less? Less. Okay, in other words, if you all have expertise, whether you do this to somebody in your own organization, or whether the owner does this with you, or if you do it back to your boss, or you do it back to the user, that is a sign of inefficiency and shows a lack of planning and lack of everybody understanding what's going on. This is a new paradigm. From the get-go, if you're the expert and they are to utilize your expertise, they need to talk what? Less or more? Less. Which now, the only problem and risk they have is that you don't have the expertise. Which means you didn't plan really well. You didn't see ahead of time what was coming. And you didn't see what the risk was and plan for it so that if it occurred, you knew exactly how to overcome it. When at the end, you would have the product, right, that you saw from the very beginning. We don't want to do much of this, but we want to make sure that everybody understands what the end product is. So we have to find a way to efficiently communicate. What is the most efficient way to communicate? I propose it's using metrics. Why? Because if I say I'm holding one bottle and somebody wants to get into a half an hour discussion that it's actually 2 bottles, I mean, what am I going to do here? No, that's 1. Right? If everything is quantified in terms of metrics, then this automatically goes what? Away. Because metrics are simple. They're non-technical. So in your end products that are going to be dominant and clear, they should involve a lot of metrics.